All right, guys, my name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48. Today we're gonna go out a review and we're gonna go over the movie, the original Robocop 1987 film. So let's jump into it. All right, we're gonna be in the city of Detroit. We're gonna have a police officer named Murphy. This is in the near future. Murphy is being transferred from Metro Sub to Detroit Police Department. He meets up with a sergeant, and the sergeant tells him, you know, get your stuff ready. We work here for a living, Murphy. And Murphy's like looking at his slip, whatever. They're gonna team him up with Ann Lewis. He meets all the guys in the that Detroit Police Department, and he's gonna patrol with Ann Lewis. It's a female, and when he meets her, she's like beating up some guy that's being arrested. So, anyways, they're gonna go patrol. Now we're gonna go to another scene. We're gonna meet up with OCP. OCP is a big company that basically runs Detroit, the whole city of Detroit, basically. They have a skyscraper headquarters. We're gonna head over there. The main people we're gonna meet over there is Rob Morgan, and there's gonna be, they call him the old man. The old man is the main honcho, the main guy in charge of that company. There in that headquarters, OCP headquarters, skyscraper, and then you got Dick Jones. They're gonna have a meeting. They're gonna have a big table. All their head people are there, and what's gonna happen is Dick Jones is gonna he's gonna he's gonna bring in his project Ed 209. It's this big robot, stocky robot with guns. He's there at the meeting with everybody. He's gonna represent it to. He has his scientists or whatever. They're gonna represent it. And here we go. Uh, Dick Jones asked this other suit called Kenny. Hey, Kenny, we need someone to volunteer. Kenny comes. He's like, get this gun, and he goes, point it, and he points it at Dick Jones, and then Dick Jones goes, no, point the gun at Ed 209. So Kenny points a gun at the robot Ed 209, and Ed 209 says, you better drop the weapon, and he does in his robot voice, and Kenny drops a weapon. And then Ed 209 is like, you have like 20 seconds to comply, something like that. Kenny had dropped the weapon, but the robot is acting like Kenny never dropped the weapon. He's like, you have 15 seconds to comply. So everybody's panicking because Ed 209 robot is not complying, and Kenny he runs with the suits for help. They push him back, and then the time runs out, and the robot unleashes all his armed guns on him and shoots Kenny all over. Kenny's getting shot all over the place. Now, so Kenny dead, and the old man is disappointed in Dick Jones' project. Everybody's all hysterical and lyrical. And Dick Jones tells the old man, "This is just a glitch." The old man's like, you call this a glitch? And then another suit, Bob Moore that I mentioned earlier, he jumps in and he tells old man, you know what? I have this team and we're ready. I have my team and we're in a project and we're ready to go. Dick Jones interferes with Bob Morgan and says, we can go talk to my office later. And then the old man's like, Dick, like quiet down. And the old man asked Bob Moore, when will your team be ready to go? And Bob Moore's like, we're ready to go. Now Dick Jones does not look happy. He looks very upset. Then you see Bob Moore in the elevator with the other suits, and he said, we just need like a volunteer or human, to someone that's gonna volunteer to help us out with this project. Now we're gonna go back to um, with Murphy and Lewis. They're drinking coffee somewhere, and and Murphy's like playing with his gun. He's twizzling like this, and then and Lewis is like, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "Oh, my son watches this show called TJ Laser, and it's when the cop kills the bad guy or whatever." And then she's like, "Yeah." And Murphy's like, "Yeah, I get a kick out of it too." Dispatch calls, and there's a armored car robbery in progress. They robbed a bank or something. So Lewis is gonna drive, and Murphy's like, "Okay, you drive." They're gonna drive over there. Now we get to the armored car that robbed the bank. You're gonna have Clarence Boniger. He's gonna be the main guy, and then he has like four or five guys with him in the armored car. And Clarence is kicking this guy named Bobby around. There's money burned all over the place, and then Clarence is like, "You dumb idiot, you burned all the money." And then Bobby's like, "I had to blow up the safe like you want." And then Clarence is like, "You idiot, you stupid idiot." And then the driver criminal says, you know, he calls Clarence, and then Clarence is like, "What do you want?" And then the driver says, "Hey, we got company." And then they see that there's a cop car following them, and then they say, Clarence is like, "Okay, get ready." And they kick open the back doors to the armored car, and they start shooting. There's nobody there. And then the driver says, "Hey, they're over here." Murphy and Lewis are in the squad car, and they have their guns. They start shooting. There's a shootout. The car comes back to the back where the armored car is, and then they shoot out Bobby's knees, or one of his kneecaps. They're shooting, shooting, shooting. And then Clarence tells the guys, "Hey, lift up Bobby." And then Clarence goes, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And then Bobby says, "Clarence, no." And then they throw Bobby on the squad car, Murphy and Lewis's car, and they have to stop. And they push the body down, and you would think that they would call an ambulance or whatever. No, they just push the body off the windshield, and then they take off. They take off, and they end up at an old mill. And the old mill looks huge. It's big. There's like a lot of old buildings and stuff like that, like a factory or something. It's abandoned and all that. They find the armored car where all the criminals are at the old mill, and Murphy calling dispatch for backup, and the lady on dispatch, she says there's no backup available. And then Murphy's like, "Oh man," with the windshield all messed up in the squad car. Murphy tells Lewis, "You call it," and she's like, "Let's do it." Murphy starts climbing up some like stairs or something, and the other one climbs up ladders on the other side of the building. Um, Lewis gets up there, and then she finds this criminal urinating, and she's like, "Turn around," and she has her she has a gun towards him. He's urinating. He goes, "Mind if I zip this up?" And then she looks down. When she looks down, the criminal knocks her out. They're on top, so she falls down. She falls on the tarp. She's injured. She's knocked out. She's moving a little bit. She's knocked out. And then we got Murphy. He's up there in the other part of the building, and he finds these two guys and two criminals. They're watching TV. There's this guy in the TV, some show actor guy say, "I'll buy that for $1." It comes out to the whole movie. And then they're sitting on a sofa. They're watching. They're laughing. A comedy show on TV. Murphy comes in. He comes in and he goes, "It's like hold," and then and then he one guy reaches for the shotgun. And he shoots him. He kills that guy, and then the other guy's going for a shotgun. He goes, "Don't do it. They're alive. They're coming with me." And so he has this guy, and he puts him against the wall, the criminal, and Remember, he killed the other one. Now this one he puts against the wall. He sprays his legs. And then the gang, the other criminals come in, a whole bunch of them. Clarence Boddicker was the other guys. And so Murphy has to give up his weapon. And all these criminals have him with Clarence Boddicker. The guy he had is released. It's funny. Because Clarence says, "Yeah, what are you doing, hot shot?" He gets Murphy's helmet and he puts it on the guy's head, the one he was holding up. That's what Clarence did. And then I like the part. Clarence goes, "Cops don't like me." So, and then Murphy goes, "Buddy, I think you're slime." Excuse me. And Clarence gets a shotgun and hits him in the back of the leg. He hits Murphy in the leg, and he goes, "Where's your partner? Where's your partner?" Hit him in the leg again, and then Murphy's down on the floor, and then the other guy, the guy that was urinating with, and he was with Lewis, says the other one was upstairs. I took her out. He starts laughing and stuff like that, and then. Murphy's on the ground, and then Clarence gets his gun and he starts playing around. He's like, he has his gun going. He's pointing at Murphy on the ground, and he steps on Murphy's wrist right here, and then he shoots and he blows Murphy's hand off. Like, blows his hand, shoots it, and then they're all laughing at him. And we got Murphy, he's like walking around like this, and then everybody's like, most of the guys have shotguns, they're like, "Hey, turn around, man, turn around." And then they start shooting. They still shooting Murphy, and he has body armor, and he's like, "Ah." And they're like, when I was like, "I'm out of ammo," and then the other one goes, "Does it hurt? Does it hurt?" And Murphy's all injured up. He's still standing up. Clarence Boddicker comes over and goes, "Fun time's over." And he shoots him in the head. Shoots him here. Murphy lays dead. And then when they leave, they go, one of them says, "Good night, sweet prince." I'm sorry. Ann Lewis was able to get up and recover someone. She saw the whole thing. Next, you see a helicopter come in, and they get Murphy. I don't get this part. I mean, if he got shot in the head and he's not moving, because they start treating him like he's alive, and they have him in the ER. They're trying to revive him. I don't know. He's lifeless and everything. And you hear the doctor calling, "Okay, this guy died around 6 a.m. or whatever." And they show Murphy getting flashbacks and stuff like that. I don't know. And then you see that now they're going to turn him in. He's being turned into Robocop. You just see like his screen looking like this. He's looking at people. You see that they have his arm, and they're restructuring him and everything. They said they were able to save an arm. Bob Morton's there. He says, "No, lose the arm." Remember, it's Bob Morton's project. They show us New Year's Eve. There's a girl kisses him, one of the employees, whatever. Then they avail him, and it's like, "I want to," and you see Bob Morton with the other suits, other business people, other workers saying, "Okay, I'd like to show you Robocop," and they all start clapping. Robocop comes out. Now after that, they're gonna go, immediately they're gonna take Robocop to Detroit PD. He passes a sergeant, and sergeant's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And Bob Morgan is with his team, whatever. They take Robocop to the firing range. He starts shooting the firing range. All the other cops are in the firing range too. They start looking at him, And they're like, whoa! And he has this really powerful gun that's more powerful than anybody's gun there. And RoboCop, I forgot to tell you, he's all in armor. Only this part of his face is showing. He's all cool and everything. He has a good covering. His mask. He has a screen like this. All of his metal and everything. He looks indestructible. Then after that, Bob Morton is passing the sergeant with RoboCop again, and Bob Morton tells the sergeant, "Hey, he needs a car," and the sergeant throws him the keys, and RoboCop catches him. Thank you. And RoboCop takes a car. He's off on patrol. Now, the first place he goes, there's this guy robbing this convenience store. He tells the guy, it's an old couple there, and he's like, open the safe in the convenience store. And the guy's like, we don't have to safe, and then open the safe and all that. And then he's like, if you don't open the safe, I'm gonna blow her brains out. Looking at his wife, 1, 2, 3, and then RoboCop comes in, and this guy starts shooting RoboCop, saying, "I'm sitting." Shooting RoboCop, and it's just off RoboCop. It's bouncing off, and the guy that guy tries to run behind RoboCop, and RoboCop just goes. He turns around, boom, he hits him. He clotheslines him, and that guy he falls like where the beer is through the glass, and he's knocked out. I don't know if he's dead or knocked out, but he's not moving. RoboCop's like, thank you. And then you go to this other scene where there's these two guys trying to rape this girl, and I remember the part they're cutting her hair with a knife or something. He's like, "You cut your hair? Her hair is down there." They're all psycho and everything, and then they're like, "Woo woo!" They start cutting her skirt like they want to rape her and stuff. Then RoboCop comes. And he says, leave her alone or whatever. And then they take the girl hostage. They get a knife, they put her to her throat. And they're like, he's gonna kill her. RoboCop's aiming like this. And then RoboCop, he's zooming in on her skirt, and pew, he shoots through the skirt. And she looks okay, but the guy's like, his private got hurt. He's all bloody on. He's like, ah, ah, ah. And then the other guy's not seen anymore. I guess he ran or something. And then RoboCop goes, the girl runs to him. Oh, thank you. She hugs RoboCop. And then RoboCop's like, madam, you've been under a lot of stress. We need to take you to a shelter, something like that. She just looks at him all weird. Next, there's, we're at the mayor's office. It's an ex-mayor that has his gun like this. He has like a whole bunch of employees of the mayor there, and he has a mayor there, and they have said that he's already killed a hostage, and he's like asking for demands. I really want a car that has really shitty, excuse my language, gas mileage, and he's like, and I want this, and I want the city to pay for it all. And then there's SWAT all over the place in the bottom, and actually his name's Miller, and the SWAT leader's like, no, don't worry, we'll give you whatever you want. We'll even throw in something, and then that gets the guy mad, the ex-mayor mad. He's like, don't be jerking me off. Kiss the mayor's butt goodbye. RoboCop had said keep on talking. RoboCop already walked over the top, and he goes on. The mayor's like on the wall like this, and RoboCop just comes out he breaks the wall through the back from the other room, and he gets it like shooting him, and then RoboCop punches him in the face, and then the mayor goes flying out of the window, and then the camera's looking at down. The reporter look down. He falls down, and he's dead. Then they show a cute scene where RoboCop's at a school, and the kids are looking at him, and then the reporter goes to him, Robo, what do you have to say to the kids? Stay out of trouble. After that, Robocop's in a recruit. He goes to recruit at the police station. He's like, they have him like this, and he's like in some chair, and he gets a dream of when they killed him, when they shot him in the head and all that, and he gets up and leaves, and there is workers there, and they're like, he left, and they didn't see him leave, and they didn't see him leave, and they're seeing what happened. And when RoboCop leaves, he runs into Ann Lewis, and Ann is, "How are you?" And RoboCop's like, "What can I do for you, Officer Lewis?" Oh yeah, she goes, "I'm Lewis." He's like, "What can I do for you, Officer Lewis?" And then there's a whole bunch of workers coming towards him, and Lewis is like, "You don't remember me?" And then she whispers, "Murphy, it's you." And Murphy, it's you. And then RoboCop takes off, and he leaves, and all the workers are like, "What did you? What they talk? They get and what did you do to him? What did you say?" And she's like nothing, and they get after her, and she tells the sergeant because they know the sergeant, and she goes, um, she's like, "I'm sorry, Sarge, I messed up," and he's like, "Don't worry, this guy." This guy's a real jerk. Then you see, there's another robbery in progress. That one of the criminals that helped kill RoboCop. He's at a gasoline station, and he goes. He's he sees the attendant through the mirror. And he's trying to gas up his motorcycle at the gasoline station, and he tells the guy's like a geek college boy. He goes, "You a college boy? What are you reading there?" And it says plain geography, his book. He goes, "You think you're smart? You think you can outsmart a bullet?" You think you can outsmart a bullet? And he goes, "I'm talking to you. What do you say?" He starts kicking in the door or whatever. And then shows up, and then he looks at that thug guy, and he goes, "Drop it." And he goes, "Dead or alive, dead or alive, you're coming with me." And then the guy says, "I know you. You're dead. You're dead." And then RoboCop's able to record stuff. And then this guy gets on his motorcycle and he takes off real quick. He throws his lighter where there's gas, and there's like fire. And when the fire comes out, it's really cool because RoboCop is starting to aim at him. And he takes off on his motorcycle, and RoboCop starts shooting his bike. Shoots the bike, and the bike flips over, and the guy's still alive. And then RoboCop tells him, "Who are you?" And the guy's like, "Oh." RoboCop says, "Who are you?" Um, there is a part where RoboCop, he actually goes back because he was married with a kid. He goes back, and he's trying to remember stuff. He finds a residence, and he starts, I guess, remembering stuff. And then there's like a TV, the guy talking to the TV at the house, like the house is empty, they're not there, and he's just remembering stuff. And then he gets to the end of the TV, and the guy's talking. "What do you want to buy this house? What do you say?" It's some TV guy in the TV, and he punches it. And then from there we go to, there's a club, and RoboCop is looking for somebody. He finds another criminal that was involved with this killing, and then the guy's like, "Hey," he has a gun, and he kicks RoboCop in the private area. He's robot into nothing, and then the guys get hurt, and then the gun flies up, and then some guy dancing catches the gun. RoboCop then drags this other criminal from the head, and pulls him by the hair and dragging him out of the club. Then we got Bob Morgan is at his house with two slutty girls, supposedly they're models. They're kissing on all that and playing with cocaine and all that. There's someone at the door, and then Bob Morgan is like, I better go get that. He goes get it. He goes to go get it, and it's Clarence Bonniger, and Clarence Bonniger has a gun, and he's coming in. Bob Morgan backs up into the living room, and then Clarence Bonniger goes, "So let's leave," and the two girls leave, and then one of them goes, "Are you gonna call me?" They run out. Bob Morgan's like, "I don't know who hired you, but do you know who I am?" And then Clarence Bonniger shoots both his kneecaps, and so Bob Morgan is shot in both knees. Like, oh, he shot in both kneecaps, and then he goes down, and he's like, "Whoever, whoever how are you? I'll pay him double or whatever." And then Clarence Bonniger walks to Bob Morgan's entertainment center. He puts a CD, and then it's Dick Jones comes out, and Dick Jones is saying, like, you went over my head, you screwed me, whatever. Now I'm gonna take you out. And then Bob Morgan tells Clarence Bonniger, "Whatever he's paying you, I'll pay you right now." And Clarence Clarence takes out a grenade. He does a thing with his tongue, and you know how grenades have a like a little ring to it. He takes it out. He puts the grenade on a table, and it has a timer, like 20 seconds, something, 19, 18. And Clarence walks out. Like a gentleman, he closes the door. Make sure he closes the door. Bob Morgan can't walk. He's crawling because of his legs, so he's crawling to try to get the grenade and dispose of it. And it explodes, and the whole Bob Morgan's whole residency explodes. After that, we're gonna have Clarence Bonniger, two of his criminal thugs, and they're talking to Sal, this other crime boss kind of deal. And Sal has his two thugs with him, and they're at a cocaine factory. And Clarence Bonniger, he starts arguing with Sal, and Sal's like, he tells his guys, take this guy's head off. Sal's guys point their guns at Clarence Bonniger, but Clarence Bonniger has all his workers and his guys pointing guns at Sal guy, and Sal is outnumbered, and then Sal's like, just kidding, because he knows he's not gonna win that argument or whatever friction they have. I think Sal was threatened of Clarence because he knows Clarence through the grapevine or in the streets that Clarence is a big cheese. He's someone you're gonna have problems with. So Sal's like, just kidding, and they stop their altercation. Then they hear a bang at the door, and it's, guess who? Robocop. Robocop comes in. He starts shooting everybody. He kills almost everybody, except for one person. He kills Sal, everybody except for one person. One of Clarence Bonniger's thugs survives, and then Robocop has Clarence Bonniger all to himself. He starts beating up Clarence Bonniger real bad. Oh, because he knows that Clarence Bonniger killed Murphy, I believe. And then, but for Clarence to take some of the heat off him, he tells Robocop, there's another guy, Dick Jones. And Robocop's recording this. He's recording everything he says because he's all computerized and everything. And then he's strangling Clarence Bonniger, and Clarence goes, "You're a cop?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am a cop." Robocop takes Clarence Bonniger in, and he's there with a sergeant, and he's like, "I'm booking this guy." And then the sergeant says, why you bringing him in? He's a cop. And then Robocop goes, "He's a cop killer." So now Robocop is gonna go after Dick Jones because Clarence Bonniger already spilled the beans on him. So there Robocop goes to the office of Dick Jones at OCP. Robocop walks into the office of Dick Jones Dick Jones is there, and he says, "Dick Jones, you're under arrest." And he's like, well, "Okay, what's the charge? Aiding and abetting, and a criminal." And Dick Jones like, "Well, I guess you better take me in then." And then Robocop goes, "I will." And then Robocop goes like this, like everything starts shutting off in his body. And then Dick Jones gave him this whole speech. There's a thing called Directive 9, something like that. It's some kind of program where you cannot arrest a OCP employee, anybody from the business, anybody that works here. And when RoboCop's going down, he's able to uh, get up a little bit after he stops trying to get Dick Jones. And then the Ed 209 from before, the one that killed Kenny in the beginning, he comes out, starts shooting RoboCop. He shoots him all over, and RoboCop's taking a beating. Ed 209 is shooting a couple of missiles at RoboCop, and good thing they miss. And they barely miss RoboCop. RoboCop goes down the stairs. Ed 209 tries to follow him down the stairs. He cannot because he's too bulky. And RoboCop goes down. And Ed 209 trying to go down the stairs, falls down, and he falls down the stairs, and he's like a baby, like in a fetus position. Well, not a fetus, but he's trying to get up. He's like, man. And RoboCop goes down to the parking lot from OCP, and Dick Jones had called SWAT. So all SWAT's there. Some of the police officers are there. Some of them don't want to participate with the SWAT. And the SWAT leaders are like, "We have orders to kill that thing or kill it." And then some of the officers are like, "No, don't kill it." And he's like, "No, we have orders." So all the SWAT start shooting RoboCop in the parking lot. He's shooting him, getting shot really bad. But he finds gaps where he can fall. He falls off the parking lot and he goes into levels. He falls into one level down and another one. And then the cops are looking for him. And then there's one SWAT that catches him. They're like, level 3, level 3. And then good thing Lewis comes in a car. She rescues RoboCop, and there they off. And the SWAT are still shooting at them. And then so they take off. Now we're gonna see that Clarence Bonniger's gang is regrouping. Some of them have been captured. They are released because since Clarence Bonniger is in cahoots with Dick Jones, I'm sure Clarence Bonniger got Dick Jones to release the ones he had in jail from his gang. So they all regroup, and they regroup in town. And a lot of the police force, they've already got a strike, and most of them are going to go striking that night. That's why now the town, now there's a lot of vandalism in the city. And like I said, Clarence Bonniger's gang is regrouping somewhere in the city. One guy's watching that TV of that guy. I'll buy that for a dollar. And Clarence Bonniger shows up with that guy. The rest of them show up. One of them shows up with a new car, like Clarence Bonniger, and then Clarence had given a gun to one of the guys, and it's like a big rifle, so they're big. And then when the other one tells the other guy, "Oh, you die! Can I play?" And their guns are super powerful. They blow up. I think one of the guys' name's Joey. They blow up his car. When your car, like Clarence Bonniger, you blow up his car. He had just stole it. And then they start blowing a little bit of the town up. And then Clarence Bonniger has been given like a cell phone thingy. And it's a thing that traps RoboCop. It's given to him by Dick Jones. Dick Jones also gave him these powerful rifles. And they're blowing up the town, and then Clarence tells one of the guys, "I'm tracking RoboCop. He's in the steel mill," and everybody takes off. Most of them get in the van, and Clarence takes his car, I believe, and then the rest of them get in the van. They're still playing around, and Clarence is like, "Get your butts in the van," and they're all running around and stuff. They get in the van, they take off. Now they're gonna go hunt Robocop. So Clarence Moniger knew Robocop's at the steel mill, so that's where they go. That's where Robocop is. Of course, he's with Lewis. Uh, Pretty cool scene. Robocop's trying to shoot in the daytime. Uh, he's shooting some baby bottles. So the baby he's supposed to be eating baby food. He's using for target practice. And Lewis helps him because his targeting system a little bit messed up. She helps him shooting, and after he's like, all right, on target. They shoot the bottles. Now Clarence Boniger's gang has showed up, and RoboCop and Lewis have seen them. So Clarence tells one of them, "You get in the van. The rest of you walk." So they have like two of them walking with the big guns. They all have big guns, and then one of them's driving the van. Clarence is there. Um, RoboCop gets a can and he throws it, and then they all shoot at it, and they're like, and then they're all like, Clarence is, oh damn, and then RoboCop's like, I'm over here. They all turn, and then RoboCop shoots one of them, and one of them gets shot and boom, shoots him, and then he goes down, and then they start shooting at RoboCop. He's walking, and they miss. So now the battle starts, and there's a part where RoboCop, he's on the street, and the guy in the van's gonna try to. He's gonna try to run into RoboCop. He's about to hit RoboCop. RoboCop does a twist, moving move, and the guy hits a big tanker thing like it's on the wall or something. It's full of chemicals. It gets onto him. It goes into a van, and he gets all melted like a zombie's all melting, like melting, and making a song. And the battle's going on, and then somebody runs over him in a car. He's like, oh, the funny part, before he gets run over, he goes to the guy, and one of his friends is, get off me, man. And then the car runs over. He splats because he's all melting and stuff. Mr. Clarence Boniger is driving his car. He ends up flipping it. He flips his car. One of Clarence Boniger's, and it's near like some water, like stream thing. I don't know, like a pond of chemicals. I don't know what it is. Clarence ends up in there. RoboCop gets in the water to get Clarence. Clarence starts. Lois shows up, and then Clarence starts shooting her with his gun. Lois is wounded. RoboCop's in the water, and he's trying to get Clarence Boniger. Clarence Boniger's a little beat up and bloody because of the car crash he had. And Clarence is like, okay, I give up. He throws his gun down. And throws it down. And then RoboCop, Clarence is like, you gotta take me in. And then RoboCop goes, oh, I'm not arresting you anymore. And then Clarence is like, now wait a minute. And then Clarence's other thug, I think it's like the last one he has left, goes into a crane, and it has a crane that's this like a little house. It's attached to a crane, and he's setting up RoboCop, and the crane drops like a lot of heavy metal on RoboCop, so it falls on RoboCop, and RoboCop is stuck like this in the middle. And then Clarence goes to get a rod, and he starts hitting RoboCop, but RoboCop's defending with his arm. He's hitting him with the pole, and then Clarence gets the rod, and he sticks it in RoboCop's chest, and he's like, RoboCop's like, no, because they just stabbed him with the chest, and then Clarence is like moving around, and then he's gonna lift it up again, and then RoboCop says, Clarence says, say sayonara, RoboCop, and then RoboCop has this spike that comes out. He puts out in like a spike thing and comes out. He uses for a computer thing, and he stabs Clarence right in the neck while Clarence is doing another blow. And then Clarence is spitting, his blood's veins from his neck is spitting out and everything, and he kills Clarence Boniger. And then Lois tells Robocop's like, Lois. Lois is over there. She's hurt from being shot from Claire's Bunker. He goes, Murphy, I'm a mess. And she's like, don't worry, they fix you. They'll fix you. They fix anything. And then you hear Robocop pushing the middle. Ah, he pushes it off. Next, you see Robocop go in a patrol car. And he goes to OCP headquarters, and he sees an Ed 209. And the Ed 209 sees Robocop and says, "You have 20 seconds to comply." Like he wants to. You must leave the premises. And he goes, and then he starts counting down. Then Robocop just takes out one of the big guns they had. He took from the criminals, the military, the hardware that Dick Jones gave him. He gets to the guys, he takes it, and he just goes in the car and he shoots. He shoots the. He shoots the Ed 209 with a powerful gun. Blows up the Ed 209. And then the Ed 209 is just in the legs like this, and the top's gone. Funny. It's cute because Robocop starts walking towards the headquarters, but he turns around and look at to examine the robot just moving in two legs. Robocop makes it all the way upstairs, and Dick Jones with the old man is giving another meeting with all the suits there and everything at the table. He walks up, and the old man goes, "Can I help you, officer?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to arrest Dick Jones for Bob Moore's murder." And then the old man says, "These are serious charges. Do you have any evidence?" There's another system there where they have DVDs, VCR, DVDs, and TVs, whatever. And Robocop takes out a spike. He puts it into the entrance, and he shows the evidence of Dick Jones, and Dick Jones is there. And it comes out on the TV, the evidence. It goes, "I killed Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake." Because he has it recorded in his thing, and he's putting it into the DVD and showing. And then Dick Jones knows he's screwed, so he gets the old man, and he puts a gun to the old man. He goes, "I want a chopper to get out of here, or the old man gets it." And Robocop had said that I can't arrest them because of the Directive 9, whatever it's called, program. And then so the old man goes, "Jones, you're fired." And then Robocop goes, "Thank you." And then the old man hits from the back. He hits Dick Jones. And Dick Jones is like, "Oh." And he's clear. Old man gets out of the way. Robocop shoots him. And he shoots him. And then there's like the window back there. It shoots him hard enough where he falls out the window down to his death. And then the old man tells Robocop, nice shooting, son. What's your name?" And he goes, "Murphy," instead of saying Robocop. Cool. And that's the end of Robocop. I enjoyed doing this review, man. It's the first time I use my weapons. I love this movie. I always saw it as a kid. I always enjoyed it. I watched it several times over and over and over again. So that means I really like it. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a classic. About the remakes, I don't know. But the action's good. I like the violence. I like the gore. It's all my stuff. It's all my cup of tea. It's really funny. It has really good lines. I mean, you have to have like a sick sense of humor to like it. It's not for the weak of heart. It's a really good movie, man. I mean, it starts off. I think that's the first RoboCop. I don't know if they had comics before that. They probably did. I don't know. And then it turns like other stuff like RoboCop versus Terminator video games. It's really cool. A lot of people enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's just funny, man. It's sick, kind of funny. And that's a really good movie. I really like it. Really good sci-fi. And so that's all I have to say about it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna say, I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope you see my next one. Um, I will say this: the Lord will never, the world will never be a perfect place, but we can all make it better. My name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48. So next time, I will see you in my next review. See you later. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.